Welcome in, everyone. We got One Piece chapter 1140 here with us today, and we're here to look through the comment section and see what everybody was talking about. See all the theories, all the popular mindsets, and all the fun, wacky comments that are down below. So with that being said, you guys know how this goes. We start with the top comments and then just work our way down naturally, and we try to guesstimate this to a solid 20 to 30 minutes. I don't have a timer on me, so we're really just eyeballing it. Let's get to it. Okay, so top comment, first comment of the day says, Zoro telling Luffy to dodge Gaban's flying slashes reminded me of Big Mom screaming to Kaido to dodge Zoro's slash using Enma. From the beginning of Elbaf, Zoro has been wanting to fight someone. I feel sorry for the next guy who fights him. Yeah, that is true, right? Zoro did want to go see Loki. Right, he felt the scream of a man, just like Luffy did, but unfortunately, Zoro did not go down there with him. So yeah, Zoro has been egging for a fight, and I'm curious to see who he's going to fight. A lot of people throw Shamrock into the ring because he has a sword, right? And he has a Cerberus sword, and you know, Zoro is the king of hell. So they're like, oh, like Zoro versus Cerberus, Zoro versus Shamrock, that makes sense. But now that we have more opponents on the board, anything's possible, right? Saint Somers has a sword. St. Killingham also has a blade. It's more like a trident. It's like a lopsided trident, but it's a blade. You know, still could be a supreme grade blade for all we know. So yeah, Zoro, no matter who his next opponent is, I'm looking forward to the fight. I really am. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about fights, since there's only 4 God Knights present, not everyone's gonna get to fight, huh? Unless we like gang up on them. Yeah, only 4 fights might be going down here. 5 if we include Loki, but Loki might just be on our side, right? I doubt Loki wants to fight the Straw Hats right away, especially if we're about to free him, and especially since Shamrock and Gunko just smacked the hell out of him. I'm sure he would want revenge, so Loki would be on our side in that battle. So, you know, -1 God Knight for that, -1 for Luffy, -1 for Zoro. That right there leaves us with 1 odd man out. So I wonder, who is going to fight here on Elbaf? All right, so the next comment says, Scopper shoving the key down Luffy's throat is foul. Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, if Luffy didn't have the Sun God Nika fruit or even the, quote, Gomu Gomu no Mi, that would be lethal, right? Like if Scopper were to use that attack on anybody else, their teeth would be bashed in. Their head would be akin to being lobotomized. So Scopper had a lot of faith in Luffy, right? I mean, that's what it boils down to. The next comment says, that comment about visiting Harald's grave and the magic circle inside the castle points to a connection between Harald and the world government. Loki probably interrupted some meeting between them 14 years ago. And yeah, that right there could have been the case. Loki could have walked into a situation he wasn't supposed to be privy to, and that is when the onslaught began. But now that I think about it, 100 Elbaf warriors were also present in the room. So the people who died in the castle, did they know about the celestial dragons? Or was that a secret that King Harald also kept from them as well? I feel like that's the real crux, right? And then Jarl, right? Elder Jarl, like he is somewhere in here too, because he was present during the battle. I don't know, man. This is crazy. You know, I thought it was gonna be cut and dry, but Oda is throwing a lot of wrenches in King Harald's story. So next comment says, I feel like Scopper saw the future before Luffy and Zoro's combined attack, like Shanks against Kid, and said, nope, let me surrender. That could be the case, right? He could have future sighted that this battle would take a turn, or he would actually have to try to fight these guys, and he doesn't want none of that. Which, I gotta say, if Scopper could future sight everything, that would explain why he's able to easily dodge all of Luffy's attacks in this chapter. Because he's dodging it with his arms crossed and everything, man. He is nonchalant, very much like Master Roshi. This one says, it's kind of funny how Yamato is dealing with a kidnapper, while we learn that Shamrock and the rest of the knights want to kidnap people on Elbaf. You're right. So for Wano's case, Who's Who is kidnapping women. And Minatomo, you know, we can't leave Minatomo out of the equation, but yeah, like we got women being kidnapped on Wano, and then now you got the God Knights wanting to kidnap kids. Man, kidnappers are having a hell of a year in 2025 and 2024. This one says, the Abyss Mark will be the reason why Devon will get caught posing as Saturn. Either, here's the thing, either Devon will get caught because she doesn't have the mark, unlike the real Saturn, or, this is a crazy theory, I heard it from Brago, who heard it from somebody else, but they said maybe the reason Devon copied Saturn was for the mark, right? If the mark is on the body and Devon has the mark, ooh, you know, like we could see Devon just popping up at Marie Joie at any point. Or maybe through the summoning circle. I mean, we don't know how it really works. And then of course, we also don't know if the Blackbeard pirates know how it works, but I think that is pretty interesting. I would love to see where Blackbeard gets all of his information from. Like, even the Blackbeard pirates coming to Egghead, they must have known that Saturn was there. Like, he was their objective. They touched Saturn and they left. So they wanted him, or just a Gorsa member in general. So it's gotta be for that mark. Because, I mean, Saturn's dead, so it's not like she can cosplay Saturn and get away with things, right? She would cosplay as Saturn, and they'd be like, wait a minute, I read the news. This guy died like yesterday. If, of course, they publicized it. We don't really know how the news works with that one, but I feel like there's too many witnesses that saw Saturn die, right? There were the 9 vice admirals in the room that witnessed him being executed by Emu. Well, technically 8 if you don't count Doberman, who got blown up, but yeah. 9 of them. This comment says, Cullen will try to fight back the Holy Knights if they start kidnapping kids. Then Ripley will try to save him, resulting in her death and in Gaban going crazy on them. I can see it. This would be a bad timeline, bro. No. Wait a minute. Ripley, I'm gonna make a case right now. Ripley is too hot to kill. Oda can't do that twice. Oda did us dirty when he killed Monet. He can't do it again. Do not kill Ripley, Oda, please. Begging you. And the thing is that Oda doesn't often kill characters. He'll typically have them get beaten and then they either go to jail or we just never see them again, or we see them like 500 chapters later in a cover story. So yeah, but please don't kill Ripley. Please don't give her the Monet treatment. But also, as far as Colin fighting back against the Holy Knights, I agree. And I think this will be really cool because you gotta remember, like, the other kids that are about to get kidnapped, they don't believe in violence. You know, they're all about picking flowers, you know, reading books, you know, having fun. No, dude, they're not the warrior kids that Elbaf should be raising. So hopefully this shows the kids that they're going down a bad path. Or maybe it'll show the Elbaf geezers that alongside schoolwork, there's also some room that can be squeezed in or saved for physical education, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to learn and get smart and to educate yourself, but I feel like you can't neglect the fighting, right? You can't just not learn how to battle. It's not like you have to train every day, just like, you know, 10 minutes a week. Something like that. This comment says, see, killer. That's how you block an attack and protect your cap. Funny enough, you said killer, and I was like, wait, killer? And then I remember like, yeah, never mind. Kid has a guy named Killer on his crew. I almost forgot about that dude. See, killer. That's how you block an attack and protect your captain. Think. Ripley forces Sanji to help the kids like Nami did back in Punk Hazard. Yeah, that could be the case. Also, speaking of Sanji, if Ripley ever gets in trouble, like let's say Ripley's about to die or Ripley's being attacked, I wonder if Sanji's lady radar is going to go off. Kind of like Scopper, right? We're imagining Scopper is going to show up and protect his wife and protect his son, but maybe Sanji senses it as well. It's like, wait. A giant woman needs help? I'm on my way. That could be it. As far as Killer not blocking the attack, yeah, that's crazy. That's so freaking crazy, man. The worst part is that Killer jumped in, tried to block, his blades got shattered, and then Kid went down anyways. Bro, Shanks got like the 2-for-1 special with that one. And this one says, I think it is interesting that Gaban pointed out that Luffy isn't wearing the straw hat on his head. We've yet to see him have it on his head while in Gear 5th. It is always hanging on his back-neck, and now this chapter is showing the helmet kind of fusing with his hair for the transformation. I wonder if Gear 5th looks significant with the hat on or something. Yep, this is a pretty popular mindset right now, and people are even wondering if this will unlock his final upgrade, right? Like maybe when Luffy gets super serious, he puts on the straw hat, and that's when his like final form activates. I don't know how that would work. That would mean that the straw hat would have some kind of special property, which I don't believe in yet, but anything's possible, right? We also know that there is a mysterious straw hat at Marie's Raw, so maybe that's the straw hat Luffy needs. Maybe. Actually, now that I think about it, what if Luffy returns the current straw hat to Shanks, right? Because they have to have that interaction one day. Even Gaban was like, wait, you have to give it back to Shanks? That's stingy. Maybe Luffy gives back that straw hat, and then Luffy gets a new straw hat, and it's the straw hat that's at Marie's Raw. I don't know. And plus, we do know that the straw hat at Marie's Raw is bigger as well, and we do know that Gear 5th Luffy can turn big. So maybe that's the straw hat he needs. And it's also odd, you know, keep in mind, it's also odd that the straw hat at Marie's Raw is in a freezer, right? We don't know why, but it's ice cold there. Like the straw hat had frost on it. So maybe when you take the hat out of the freezer, it's fiery. Maybe it's the Sun God Nika hat. It would be kind of silly if that was the case, but maybe, you know, something's going on with that damn hat, man. These straw hats, we gotta get them out of circulation. Man, if I was Emu with the world government, the minute somebody started making straw hats, boom, execute them. Get them out of here. You want to make some straw hats? No, you're dead. You're now a celestial dragon slave, buddy. 2913, poor Loki. Bro's dad was working with the ops. Yeah, rest in peace, man. But yeah, to be fair though, we don't know what he was doing, you know. Maybe there's still a world where Harald was working for the greater good. Because in this chapter, right, Shamrock, Gunko, and the Holy Knights, they weren't expecting a school. And King Harald was the one who pushed the idea of having schools in Elbaf. So there is some disconnect there, right? There's some disconnect there. This one says, bro is gonna feel bad when Ange ends up fighting to protect the children. And she'll have a sad backstory as well. Bro's gonna be heated when Oda gives Ange a blind with glasses gag. Okay, here's the thing. I know how it's looking, guys. If you guys have been around the block for a while, you know that I have a certain hatred against Ange. I wouldn't even say hatred. I feel like that's too far. I just have a simple theory that Ange is the most vile creature on the island. Even worse than the celestial dragons, I think she might just betray us. That is a theory I made when I first laid eyes on her, and I've kept it up consistently. And I've gone so far into this theory that I can't back down. You know, you gotta go down with the ship. And that's how I feel about this. You know, I'm holding on to whatever hope there is. And I'm saying that maybe the game that the Celestial Dragons want to play is going to get cut short. You know why? Because there's already a winner. They're going to walk into that school and they're going to see a straight up Naruto Uchiha bloodbath. They're going to walk in, all the kids are dead, and Ange is standing above the corpses with a sword. And she looks at Shamrock and the God Knights and she says, I'm the winner of this game, chumps. Maybe. Hey, that theory? Write it down, Oda. Write it down. As it says, you have to respect my man, Sai, for staying consistent on his hatred of Ange. Like I said, it's not hatred. It's not hatred. I simply see through the sheep's clothing. Exactly, Sai. The Knights look cool and have some personality to them. Killingham is dope as F to me, and he might be the most chill of the Knights if he's an awakened Kirin. Kilin, you know, the Chinese equivalent. This is same thing, but the Q really messes me up. I don't know why. I know it's pronounced like a K, but hey, it gets me, man. Kirin likes to not harm the lands around, so we might have a side to him that doesn't like taking out islands as a whole. But yeah, I love these dudes already, LOL. Wonder how the games are gonna play out with them. Also, Killingham was in hybrid form because he was rushing somewhere. He was saying stuff about being late, etc. in the version I read, so I assume he went into hybrid to go faster or to travel quicker, but got zapped to Elbaf anyways, yep. Also, does Kill not already look like the little dude with the mask from Mother Carmel's - Linland's flashback? If so, Big Mom could possibly come back and it would be a nice tie-in to Elbaf and him being there. So, Gas Mask Kid. I feel like I talk about this guy every other week when talking about the Holy Knights. I don't think this is the same person as that, because at God Valley, we saw a mask that was almost one-to-one with the mask we saw in Big Mom's flashback. But for the mask that this guy has, I feel like it's different. You know, this one only covers like the bottom of his face, whereas the other kid from the Big Mom flashback has like the full mask. And same with the guy at God Valley as well. So this could be, we have to remember, Big Mom's flashback, Mother Carmel's flashback, that was a long time ago. God Valley was a long time ago. So there is a chance that Killingham, whatever you want to call him, he could be the son of that character, which of course would tie into Big Mom, and that would be a nice comeback. But yeah, I feel like they could just be related. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So this one says, if Sanji does get advanced Conqueror's Haki, his specialty will probably be radar jamming other people's future sight like Shanks. Yeah, that'd be cool. Or maybe it's something that only affects men, you know, because we gotta remember, like, Sanji has that gimmick, right? So Conqueror's Haki, from what we've seen this far, is kind of, it's somewhat indiscriminate unless you're like Rayleigh or Luffy and you kind of just, you know, selectively do it. But maybe Sanji's has like a boosted effect against guys, and then for women, they're like totally unaffected. I could see Oda going with the gag like that, but I do like the radar jamming aspect of it. The thing with radar jamming is that we still don't know how this works yet, right? Oda talked about this in Shanks's volume 4 billion data card about how Shanks can kill other people's observation haki, but we don't know if that's an effect of Conqueror's Haki or if that's just a subset of observation, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards. But Sanji getting specialized haki that only he has, I think overall will be really freaking cool. I'm getting strong King Vegeta vibes from King Harald. I love that. King Vegeta, man. What if, similar to when Beerus humbled King Vegeta and Vegeta saw it, Garling could have little broed Harald, ripped his horns out, and forced him to cooperate, also traumatizing Loki, the experience that he talked about. This would hype up Garling and add more to Loki's hate towards the Fgarland family. Oh, that could be good. Yeah, he could have saw Garling rip out King Harald's horns. Yeah, huh. No, that's a good one. Yeah, like Harald is over here fighting the world government. He's like, I'm gonna defy you guys. And then, they rip off his horns and he's like, oh, never mind, why not put a magic circle in the throne room, boys? Yeah, that would be really cool. And it would tie into why Loki doesn't like celestial dragons, of course. No, that's a good one. That's a good theory. Surprised, everyone mentions Zoro telling Luffy to dodge, but no one compares it to a callback of Big Mom telling Kaido to dodge one of Zoro's attacks. Funny enough, that was actually the top comment. That was the first comment we read in this entire video. This one says, in the anime, Scopper already fought Odin with Enma. He'd probably recognize Enma in Zoro's hands. Oh, that's true. Damn, see, hey, another reason why the boys gotta visit Scopper if Elbaf is safe afterwards. I would love that interaction. Like, Scopper looks at Zoro and he's like, hey, that sword looks good on you, Roanoa. Well, I don't know if he'd call him Roanoa, but you know what I mean. As it says, I think that tattoo on Sommer's elbow is the mark that allows him to travel across the abyss. Yeah, I've seen this theory floating around and I don't think it's bad. I think my main hang-up with Sommer's tattoo being the mark they need is that it's a big tattoo, man. Like, dude, it's a tattoo that starts from right here and goes all the way up to his shoulder. If that is the mark they have, then all the God Knights in the Gorosei have that mark. And it's like, okay, wait, is it all on their arms? Is it on their back? Can they like change the location? Can they make it smaller, right? Like, that's a huge mark. And of course, like, I need to see like a more descriptive version of it too, because right now it just reminds me of the other tattoos we have in One Piece, because there's a lot of characters that actually have like sleeved up arms. So yeah, I'm kind of curious about this. I'm kind of reserved in my opinion, but overall, I don't think it's bad. As long as they can change the size of it, I think it's cool. And then of course, people were saying, oh, like if it's on your left arm, Shanks got his left arm eaten off. Like maybe he lost his mark when that happened. And I think that's a cool idea too. I don't think it's that bad. This one says, Oda showed the building falling to demonstrate Gaban's destructive ability. This small tower is comparable to a mountain, Elbaf sized, as we've seen in the panel where mountains behind it provide a good comparison. Yep, Scopper is crazy, man. Over here destroying buildings. We're not even in that room and he destroyed it. This one says, I believe that Shamrock killed King Harald due to the other God Knight asking if they came to visit his grave. This means they have some relevance to him dying. And also, Loki is the only one to survive after he ate the cherished devil fruit of Elbaf. But they left and all the blame was put on Loki with no evidence that it wasn't him. Yeah, I mean, the only evidence we have is Jarl. Bro, if we come to find out that Jarl falsely incriminated Loki, we gotta tie him up to the tree, man. All the years that Loki's been on the run, tie up Jarl, bro. Like, get him out of here, dude. Boo! Boo! This one says, I don't know if you caught this, but when we see Gaban cut the castle, he also cut the cloud in half. Did he? Wait, what? Okay, so I just went to go check, and you're completely right. He literally did cut the cloud? What? He cut the cloud? How's that even possible? That's a really good catch. That's a really good catch. I didn't even notice that. This one says, Scopper's future sight allowed him to sense the Holy Knights. Luffy didn't sense them, but Gaban is testing Rayleigh's trainee. And Luffy failed with flying colors. I mean, all the Straw Hats did, right? Like, nobody sensed the God Knights except for Scopper. And I said this before, I'll say it again. Now that the God Knights summoned 2 more people, they had to use that circle again. The Black Lightning had to strike down from the heavens. Scopper's going there. Scopper's gonna show up and save the school, hopefully. I don't know, like Scopper versus 4 God Knights. Ooh, Scopper 1v1. Okay, I'm gonna give it a Scopper, but 4v1 with one of them being Shamrock, dicey. And this one says, I think it was just meant to show us how hard Gaban was swinging. Gotta think that there was a whole battle in the castle, but yet he just took off a tower in one shot, and it's thicker than human walls, I would assume. Yep, Scopper is insane. His attack power, his damage output at the ripe age of what, like almost 80 is crazy. This one says Scopper ended the fight and left quickly because he sensed the strange hockey again when the 2 God Knights spawned in. So back to the hunt to figure out who this strange hockey belongs to. Yeah, and the thing is with Scopper is that he's probably seen the Abyss Circle before too, at God Valley or, throughout Roger's journey. So he knows that bad guys are here. It's not even about like, hey, strange hockey. It's more like, ooh, strange hockey that belongs to celestial dragons, right? This one says, Robin, Usopp, and Frankie aren't there to ask any questions. Luffy doesn't want answers. Zoro doesn't care about answers. And Nami only really wants treasures or maps. Oh, this is in reference to what we would get out of Scopper. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Frankie would have questions. Same with Robin and Usopp. The thing is that I just feel like they wouldn't want all the answers. So I do think that Scopper does have some knowledge to impart on us. And of course, like, he could hit us with just a flashback in general. Like, maybe we see the God Knights and he's like, yeah, by the way, Straw Hats, like, many years ago, Roger and the gang dealt with these guys like this. And then he explains, like, how the whole battle went down. Maybe he gives us a flashback. But yeah, I can totally see this happening. And also, I feel like Usopp would want to see him, right? Because they were hyping up Scopper to Usopp, right? Usopp was like, like, who is this guy? And then Oimo and Kashi were like describing this whole backstory and it made him seem all grandiose. So yeah, I think it'll just be a fun time in general. And then of course, Colin, right? Like, it's Colin's dad. We're gonna have to meet the dad. Or at least the Straw Hats will have to meet him and realize who he is. And this one says, Oda will never stop his crippling addiction to designing new characters. Yeah, it really is a crippling addiction because Oda's been on the record saying this many times, like, you know, I wish I didn't introduce so many Warlords of the Sea because it made the story really long. And then we had Saboti with the Supernova. Oda was like, yeah, I made these guys up like the other day, right? Like, Oda just keeps on going, man. He just doesn't stop. What's worse, Oda's addiction to designing new characters or Oda's addiction to silhouettes and cliffhangers? I don't know, man. That's a tough battle. If you notice the thorn on Summer's blade handle, then he also has a rose on his chest. Yes, I think Summer's, I mean, of course, we have the name Summer, which, you know, typically that's when flowers are in full bloom. But yeah, I think Summer's is going to have a really cool flower type of transformation or ability, right? We could also get like a flower demon. I don't know what a flower demon would exactly be. You know, I think of like a vine monster, but is that even a thing? Vine monster. Usopp opponent? Maybe. I think the tower fell on the Cerberus, saving Loki so that when Luffy comes down to the underworld, Loki will still be alive, and now Loki owes him a favor for saving his life. Yeah, could be the case. And also, I do wonder, like, will we have to heal Loki? Because, I mean, yeah, like, Loki getting kicked by Gunko is one thing, but he also got stabbed 3 times by the Cerberus. I almost feel like we need to take him to Chopper, right? Like, hey, Chopper, we got, like, a giant you need to heal. Can Chopper heal a giant? Do we have band-aids that size? Do we have enough equipment? I don't know. I mean, okay, to be fair, Gerd is also a doctor, I believe. Is that right? Gerd is the doctor of the new Giant Warrior Pirates. Yeah, you know, forget Chopper. Send Loki to other people, man. Send Loki to other people. St. Killingham has become one of my favorite One Piece characters' designs, strangely enough. He's so goofy and is a long boy. Oda, please let Luffy meet this man. Yeah, and the thing about Killingham as well is that Brago said it when I talked to him. He said he kind of looks like Mushu. And he's not wrong. He really does look like Mushu. And then, like, even St. Killingham's eyes, they're very cartoony. It kind of reminds me of like Sun God Nika in a way. Like whenever somebody sees Luffy or whenever something happens and their eyes pop out, that's kind of what he reminds me of. And I wonder, what is Oda cooking? But with that being said, we hit the 20-ish minute mark. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really freaking appreciate all the comments and all the theories. I love having this little conversation as per usual. And yeah, chapter 1141 is right around the corner, so gotta get geared up for that. And with that being said, a couple of shout outs. Of course, I was a part of One Piece D&D, so make sure to check that out on the side. I do think that was a pretty fun time. So yeah, good background noise right there. And of course, I also have a gaming channel over at Syvduck, so check that out if you're interested in me doing something outside of One Piece. And I also stream on Twitch every other day at Syvduck as well. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys later. Signing out.